Greetings, my dear Aquarius, my Uranian friend. Saturn has bestowed upon us a great deal of lessons lately, and I think it's important that we take stock in this and adjust accordingly, my Aquarius. Um, as a visionary and as an eccentric, as someone whom lives according to the beat of their own drum, there is the possibility that you are perhaps laughing, laughing at what in all is occurring outside the door in the external world. There's a sense of humor in it because you've already seen this coming. Um, and perhaps your life has adjusted um, in a way that was foreseeing this already. You are probably going through a great deal of the need to set free from isolation, or perhaps to recalibrate some sort of foundational thing. There's a shift. There's a shift, and perhaps in this there may be friction, but it's something that you've already measured before. Right. So I am working from the 1890s deck, my dear Aquarius. This is your read for mid-April 2020. I shall be reading the Great Mirror for you. The Great Mirror is a tool that will focus on energies between you and the object of your affection. Now, we'll go ahead and get started. This is the 1890 deck from the French school, and it's really old. Please clear your mind and release any tension you have in your body. You will know in your body, if you can listen to your body, where the tension is. Please release that and relax. Thank you. We'll get started now. In this portal, there is something you may be losing passion for. It does not mean that your passion is diminished completely. There is something you're able to control, a force that is moving within the connection with your object of affection. There's something about this object, this person, place, or thing that holds your love, and there is a patience around it, an ability to control the link between you and this thing. Your seventh house is activated, fixed fire, Leo energy here, strength. There's also something about your power that you've surrendered, and in doing so, you've actually gained power in this. There is a great deal of patience. We have here strength as well, the Empress energy. Some force that is being guided, and there is a sense of nourishment, or perhaps a type of return that reminds you about what to value in terms of your emotions, how they are being watched over. There's something about the force of emotions as well as your primal drives, survival as well as sexual instincts that are tied harmoniously. There's something about you in which you are ready to perhaps grow something. There's a sense of equilibrium as well. There is a sense of vibrating to a certain frequency, reaching that frequency and having that grow and expand, like becoming a mantra. Something about what you say is unorthodox, but in it there is a sense of control. And in doing so, there is an ability to tame your inside, your 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 inner self, your shadow self is being tamed as well as balanced out. There is an eloquence about you, and perhaps there is guidance. This person may see you as guidance. Whomever you're dealing with, if they are a person, this person is in a state of regeneration of the mind and of the spirit through releasing tensions of the mind and the spirit. Expectations are being thrown out, and in solitude as well as in enterprise, seeing solitude as an enterprise, there is a possibility for what? Okay. Um, it's getting really complex. Okay, yeah, there's a possibility for a type of regression, okay? Meaning that this person will be able to understand why and how they feel a certain way, how they have, uh, in a way, you're sort of inspiring them to heal, and through solitude and through some self-reflection, through processing of anything that has been hurtful, there is a period of being very patient and an echo of being very patient in the connection with whatever this is. They're going through a lot, and it has to do with the threes and the fours. The threes and the fours, so there's a sense of harmony as well as a sense of structure that is within this, as well as a need for patience and a need for understanding of oneself, okay, on their side. On your side, you have purpose. You have purpose, and there's something that you see about this that may potentially be unhealthy. Therefore, you've taken a stance of trying to understand on the foundation how things are panning out. Okay. There's also an indication here of either self-empowerment or perhaps self-empowerment through understanding the desires of where you are going in life, despite what this connection is, or despite what this outer influence is. You are searching for conjunctions, mutual ways of understanding inner truths that are shown through the mind as well as your emotions, and how these are grounded or destabilizing in some way. Trust me when I say this. You are in a part. You are in a mode of detachment, um, a detachment from expectations of a normal scheme of justice, a normal scheme of things. There's something about your sense of fairness that is coming into this, and you are empowering yourself by a type of restriction, a restriction to not reach out to an externalized object of affection, to something outside of yourself, because this thing, whatever you're dealing with, is going through a type of mental or a type of ringer, okay? Now, this is the most interesting card, so I will keep that as the active force. The oracle here is here. The oracle is the active force, the agent within the mirror, and I'm building the mirror for you now. Okay, you're showing up here as someone who is trying to ground themselves by revisiting some cycle. So revisiting the way or the behavior of a pattern or a flow. You are revisiting something from the past here. This object of affection has roots. It has roots. And you may be trying to release yourself from fixating on these roots, on this object. Your gaze is fixed, in a way, on a return of understanding the karma of this. At the same time, there's something that you're healing up on, some sort of thing that caused fear or anxiety, and now you are trying to reverse that. You're trying to find courage, and indeed, this connection with this person, let's say, there is a strong feeling that you've been burned in some way, but you're trying to understand um, how to release this, how to go against your own nature and to actually release this. Strength is showing up here again, as well as your sign and any fixed sign. Um, Grounding is really important for you. That's what I see. This is your person. They're very much self-reflective right now, and they're in the mode of healing. There's an airy quality. While you are trying to be grounded, they are trying to be lifted. You're trying to intellectualize something and ground it into something that makes sense through analysis or through some sort of trying to reconstruct things. Here, they are essentially trying to heal, especially release toxic emotions. But there's some sort of failure here. There's a need to revisit this and to detach from emotions completely. Okay, it's not just acknowledging the emotions and sort of holding them and then trying to ground them. It's more like complete disattachment. It's like complete release in a way. There's a strong sense that that you are fixed on this thing still, regardless if you're trying to ground yourself and analyze it. This person is very much kind of cardinal about this. They're very proactive, um, and there's some sort of they want you to offer a sense of passion. I think you've become a bit passive with your passions when it comes to this object or this person of affection. But I think they want you secretly to give some sort of fire into the equation again. On a soul level, there is the Ten of Cups in reverse, some sort of deep connection that has to do with non-traditional forms of union. There's a coercive quality to this, in which they pull from the emotions here, if you have any, and then they try to release them, to detach from them. There's a sort of detached quality about this person, also receptive, in which the karma is showing that they have to release these. Perhaps this person has gone through a period of toxicity and they still want there to be fire between you two, which you usually provide, some sense of passion or some sort of purpose, drive. Yeah, I think you are a driving element to this person's existence, and you inspire them in some way. But at the same time, the emotions become way too toxic, and they have to purge somehow. And between you two, we have the mirror. The mirror is really important. Here on the conscious aspect, there is mirroring occurring in the conscious. In the conscious reflection, there is a mirror that has to do with ambition. We have here the Six of Pentacles, and it's in the reverse. And there's a lot of Saturnian aspect to this, some sort of need for balance, but the inability to do so. Therefore, both are inclined to rise in some way. How? You are trying to rise by understanding the karmic nature of this situation. They are trying to purge emotions that are too toxic within them. So there's a toxic element to this person. I wouldn't say that they're coercive, but they just tend to have this, sort of emotional depth that is a bit mysterious, also very in need of release. Okay, that's how to find balance. You guys are both trying to process this. There's imbalance here, and there's also a lot of ego and drive and a lot of survival instincts kicking in when it comes to this situation. Okay, now on the subconscious level, on the realm of magic, there is The Tower in reverse. Okay, this is the most important card of the spread. And remember, we have the Nine of Pentacles here in the reverse. Some sort of foundation that is not so healthy for you, or perhaps not so healthy for the other. There is a need to understand the nature of emotions that well up, or perhaps that are hidden, that need to be conveyed in some sort of way to find health in the equation. There is imbalance, and therefore the health, which is one of the three major aspects that constitute our well-being, the body, the mind, and the spirit. The body is very much challenged here. It's not only the physical body, but the subtle body, relating more to the soul and the sort of the unconscious. These become physically represented in the body. And let's say that if we were to have companionship, if this person was a lover or a friend or um, something where there was a commitment of some sort, there's an imbalance in the commitment, some sort of unhealth here. And it's because there was a need to scale into a form of ambition to get out of a feeling of being trapped. Okay, let's clarify. I shall use the Ohio deck for you. Mm. Okay. Yeah, so there was a need to find some sort of grounding, nourishment, as well as to understand how there was a feeling of anger or perhaps some sort of suppressed um, desire to find stability, and that caused a bit of anger. Um, the prison was one of the mind, and not only that, it this physically created an echo and triggered you. It was too great and too restrictive, therefore you had to leave, or perhaps they had to leave. Also, the world's events are also affecting it, with the Tower in reverse, some sort of calamity being tried to people have been trying to avoid this calamity, therefore leading to a feeling of imprisonment or some sort of restriction that is very Saturnian and Uranian in nature. This has definitely had an impact on you. This was one of pain. It's as if the prison was too painful and you felt like you had to rebel against it, or perhaps to find some sort of understanding and to protect yourself in an energetic way in the realm of manifestation, to put up a firewall, to not allow this other to affect you. And it works vice versa. There is a mutual sort of need to protect oneself or one's domain, but to protect the foundation. But this was being shaken up, and because of this, both of you want to break free. Okay, break free and understand in freedom how to release, how to understand the karma of the situation. Now, on a soul level, you have here, like I mentioned, the nine of rods, and this echoes here with the nine of rods here. The foundation of some sort of passion is based on restriction, but also understanding how the heart behaves, how there are certain rites of passage or certain aspects of being burned in some way that teaches you in this soul connection. On your object of affection side, we have once again the Ten of Cups in reverse. There is a feeling of disconnect or corrosive quality to the cups that hold the emotional depth of the situation. They are quite deep, but they are suppressed, or perhaps there's something in the past, not only in this timeline, but in past lives. There is a possibility you guys were married, and possibility that you also had to go to war. And between you two, there's a possibility of some sort of treaties or some sort of agreement that was not honored in some sort of way. There's an obstacle here. So something about you has been suppressed, and something about them has been corroded, like rusted out. And because of this, it forms an obstacle. And because of this, there is a karmic nature to whatever you're dealing with. One in which stability is questioned, one in which balance is questioned, one in which you're trying to understand the motives and the dimension of pain that is on the mental plane for you, and pain that is on the emotional plane for them. There's a disharmony between the emotional sort of bridge between emotions and intelligence. There's disharmony in this relationship. When it comes to emotional intelligence, there's just different pages going on. One, you focus on more the intellectual understanding or the communicative aspects, and they more on the detached aspects that are more emotional, okay, in nature, that are more intuitive in nature, and there's just a bit of disharmony, okay? Stay in strength. You are understanding the dimensions of your depth, and there is a possibility also to grow and to find empowerment into understanding the guiding aspects of the situation, where in all you find your power and how to restrict certain aspects about yourself to understand and philosophize and ground yourself into a type of aesthetic when it comes to your situations and dealing with these situations. There's a sense of empowerment, so I suggest you take that as well. Understand the cycles of the mother and the father. There's emphasis on motherhood here, and it's important for you to know that if you are, in a sense, a nurturing aspect to this, or they to you, understand that there may be some sort of possessive quality or perhaps emotional um, um, projections here, expectations that cannot be realized at the moment, okay? My dear Aquarius, this is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. Please like, share, and subscribe if you will. Otherwise, I shall see you later on. I do have openings for readings. If you resonated with this, I suggest we go further in, and I can show you through portals and mirrors some great understanding of what you may be going through. Please check my About section for that. The contact is there. Otherwise, blessings to you, and may Saturn teach you the greatest lesson of all, which is patience. Bye-bye.